Hello everybody. So in this video I will show you several different circular magnet arrays and how I can combine them and what field shapes they generate, or what you see under the magnetic viewing film when you put them together. What you see right here is a magnet array that looks like this, and I'll show you again what it looks like under the field viewer. And here I have the magnets, basically two rings, and all of these magnets are arranged with the poles facing this direction and this direction. So they are repelling. We have North Pole here, and from the other side North Pole here. Then of course South Pole here and South Pole here. So they are all aligned in basically this direction, but always repelling from each other, and the same goes for the outside. And that is why you see the plane of inertia of the magnets like this, and then the inner circle is slightly shifted, also like this. And yeah, I think this gives a really interesting field shape that you see here. And what I'm going to do now is I will take several different other ring arrays, like these ones, and place them in the center. So I'll show you the first one, which gives a field like this. With this array I have placed the magnets so that the poles are facing this direction, but they're alternating poles, meaning we have South Pole facing here, North Pole, South Pole, and so on. So they're always alternating poles facing outwards. And when I place it inside here, like this, and show you this under the viewing film, it gives a really interesting field, what you see here. And I can also rotate the inner magnet array with my fingers underneath the viewing film. And then you can see a very interesting phenomenon happening. Like, yeah, you see these white lines. This is the plane of inertia, or also called block wall. And everything where it's blue or dark, basically where it's colored, is where the magnetic field itself is. And you can see how the field and the plane of inertia shifts and interacts with each other, with the two arrays. I will show you this from this perspective so you can see what happens underneath the field viewer. I just rotate the inner array like this, and you get this really interesting field geometry where, yeah, the magnets interact with each other. So let me take the next array. I've prepared some more. With this one, this is a Halbach configuration, as you can see here. So it's configured so that the magnetic field is forced to the outside the strongest, as you can see here from the side view. And yeah, it's symmetrical, the field. And I will just place this one in the center, like here, and show you what this looks like under the viewing film, and also rotate it. And you can see the field geometry is of course different. And yeah, you can also see the interaction with the fields of the magnets, which looks really interesting, I think, when I rotate it just like this. So let's switch over to the next array. Also same looking array, but magnets are arranged differently. With this one I have it arranged so that the magnets are facing all this direction, like radially aligned, and of course these magnets are all repelling. meaning we have North Pole here and North Pole facing this direction, South Pole facing this direction, South Pole this direction, so they are all repelling, and this gives us a field shape like this. Now I will take this array and place it in the center again and show you what this looks like under the viewing film. And you see, you get an image like this. And also when I rotate it, you see how the white lines, plane of inertia, interacts with each other, and also the colored spots, which is the magnetic field, how it interacts and how it shifts. You have here, when I hold it like this, we have here 2 and 2, and also here 2 and 2, always like this. And when I just rotate it slightly, like this, we have a free configuration, meaning here have we the connections of the fields, and so on. And yeah, when I just rotate it, you see this configuration will always shift like this. And then we go over to the next array. It's also a circular array, and here all the poles are facing outwards in the same direction, meaning we have, for example, North Pole facing outwards like this. They are all facing the same direction outwards. It gives us a field shape like this. And then I take this one and place it inside in the center, and we get a field shape that looks like this. With this one, the poles, the individual ones, are attracted always like this, so I can't really rotate the inside array. It's because it's just forced inside like this, doesn't move that easily. So I will just show you the shape like this, which also looks interesting, I think. And yeah, now I will move over to the next array that I have prepared, which is also a ring array where I have placed all the poles facing in one direction, meaning with this one, for example, we have all north poles facing outwards like this. This gives us an interesting field shape that you see here. And now I will place the circular magnet arrays that you've seen before in the center. I will just show you shortly. This one is the one with the alternating poles facing outwards. And if I place it in the center like this and show you what this looks like under the field viewer, you will get a very interesting field shape that looks like this. Then we move on to the next array, which is our Halbach configuration, where all the where the field is focused to the outside. And I show you again what this looks like under the field viewer. I have to press it against the field viewer so it doesn't flip. Also an interesting field configuration, I think. And as you can see, it always wants to flip like this, so it doesn't want to stay like this. But anyways, move on to the next array, which is this one. I have to look under the field viewer. Yeah, this is the one where it's radially aligned and they're all repelling. And if I place this one in the center, yeah, this one stays like this. Oh, yeah, it actually doesn't want to stay. It wants to align like this, but it's not forced outwards that strong. So I can hold it like this, and you can also see we get this interesting pattern where you can see it for yourself, which looks quite interesting, I think. So let me move on to the next array, which is the array where all the poles are facing outwards. And also with this one, they're all facing outwards. And if I place it in like this, they're all attracted, so the magnet array actually wants to stay like this inside, and this gives us a field shape that looks like this, which also looks interesting. And now I move on to the next array that I've prepared, which is a Halbach configuration. And you can already see it underneath the viewing film. All the magnetic fields are forced to the inside, and it is a symmetrical shaped, as you can see from the side. And yeah, this gives us a field like this. And now I will just place all of these magnet arrays and the inside of this array. So here I also have the magnet array, which is a Halbach configuration. I just show it to you under the field viewer, where all the poles are facing outwards, and with this one all the poles are facing inwards. And it wants to stay actually at a slight angle, like this. And yeah, I can force it to stay inside like this. Then show it to you under the field viewer, and we get patterns like this, which look kind of interesting. It's not so easy to rotate, but I can still do it. So as you can see, when I rotate the poles against each other, the field shape of course also changes, like this. Yeah, you get the idea. Then I will take another array, which is this one with the alternating poles facing outwards, and place it inside the Halbach array. Then it also wants to stay, and this one doesn't move at all. It's like really forced inside. So I can't change the rotation. And the field geometry that you achieve with this looks like this. Also an interesting one. I know I say interesting too much in this video, but yeah. Tell me which other word I should use. So let's move on to the next array, the radially aligned repelling magnets. I will place it inside here, and it's also forced, so I can't really rotate it like this. And the feed geometry looks like this. You will see you get very beautiful patterns like this. And now the last array, which is all the poles facing outwards. If I place that one inside, you get a field shape that looks like this. Looks also interesting. I think, yeah, I can rotate this one a bit, which doesn't really change the field shape that much, but anyways, this is what this one looks like when I place the ring array with the poles all facing outwards in the same direction inside here into this Halbach configuration. So I have prepared some other arrays too, and here I have just put some light on it. Also two Halbach configurations, but this one's the field is not focused to the inside but to the outside, meaning in one direction to the outside. So field is with this top array focused on this side and with this one and this side. And what you can do with this arrays is that you can actually shift them from each other. I don't know how to describe this better, so I will just show you. You will see they are not aligned, they are slightly shifted from each other. And this gives us a torsion in the field, which results in a field that you see here. And if you look closely on these outer white lines, you see they're always shifted towards the right. And if I just rotate them under the field, you see with the inner lines how they also rotate. Hope you can see this quite well. When I just rotate it like this. And you see how the field itself has shifted a bit. And from the other side, I view it like this, it of course also looks the same. And if I go away a bit from it, you should be able to see with the magnetic field itself, meaning the colored part, like here, that it's also not symmetrical, but shifted a bit. Which happens because I arranged them like this, slightly shifted from each other. You can arrange them so that they are aligned, and then you don't have this field torsion, but I actually wanted to have it with this array. And I'll show you why, because I have this inner magnet array that I will place inside. These are also two ring arrays, two Halbach configurations, the same configuration, meaning the field pushed outwards here and here, and they are also shifted from each other slightly, as you can see here. They are not aligned, and here you can see it even better how the field has slight torsion to it, which you can see in the outer parts that move out here. So yeah, this is also interesting kind. And now I will just place this inner array inside this one and show you what this looks like under the field viewer. So yeah, basically have two ring arrays, which are, this is a bit tricky to hold, which both have a field torsion because they're shifted towards each other. And now I will try to hold it and rotate it, which is a bit tricky with one hand, but anyways, you will see the best I can get. And yeah, you can also see the white lines, or the plane of inertia, how it shifts towards each other when I rotate it like this with these Halbach arrays. And for the finish, I have here, let me see where I've got it. Yeah, this is this Halbach array again, where all the poles are facing inwards. And then I will take this one, where all the poles are facing outwards. So I will place them inside, like this, and show you what this looks like under the field viewer. I hope I didn't show you this before, but I don't think so. And yeah, it's slightly stiff, so I can't, the fit is quite tight, so I can't rotate it that easily, but you can still get the idea when I try to rotate it, how the field shifts inwards each other, as you can see here. So yeah, lots of magnet arrays that I showed you here. I have actually another one. This is also a Halbach array where poles of, or the forces of the field of the field is forced outwards here and here, the same as I showed you before with the bigger one. They are also shifted towards each other, and you also can see this field torsion, but with this one you can see it even better. As you can see here how these white lines are shifted to the left here. If I go a bit further away from here, you can also see the magnetic field itself shifts a bit, which is a really interesting effect, I think. Yeah. And for the last part, I will do one thing. I have these two circular magnet arrays. Here we have all poles, all south poles facing inwards, and with this one all north poles facing inwards. And if I connect them like this, slightly pinched my finger, but that doesn't matter, then I have here the same one. This is the same array like this, but just smaller with 8 magnets and another magnet in the center. And I showed you this array in the last video, so I will just shortly show you what this looks like. But what I didn't tell you in the last video is an interesting effect that actually occurs with all of the arrays that I showed you in this video. But with this one, it is the strongest, and this is when you hold it like this and just turn it, you will actually feel Earth's magnetic field extremely strong. This happens with this array the strongest, because you basically focus the field or force the field in a very narrow space, or like right around here. Yeah, you can actually see where I pinched my finger. So these arrays are really strong. Anyways, so this one focuses the field really strong to the center, and yeah, I would describe it like a field laser, which a magnet itself actually is, but this one forces it much more to the center, and that is why if you just turn and tilt it like this, it feels like it was attached to rubber bands, or you can really feel a strong field torsion, like it were attached somewhere. And also the effect occurs if you just tilt it like this, which is, I think, really interesting, because the effect is just so strong with this array. If you hold something like this in your hand, I promise you haven't felt something like this before. This also doesn't happen with bigger and stronger magnets. And just the field torsion itself, when you just rotate it like this, it's incredible. And of course this happens with these arrays too, but the effect is not that strong like with this array. Also, if you just take this array and do it like with the anti-gravity device that I showed you in an earlier video, you make these movements against any object and you feel a slight repellent force between the array and the object you're moving it against, if you move it in a pattern like this. And I think this is because just the field strength gets really, really strong here, which I can actually show you under the field viewer. When I hold it against here, you can still see an imprint. I can remove the imprint, but it is still there. So anyways, I hope I didn't forget to show you one of the arrays, but I think I got all of them. So yeah, I will end the video with the array I started it. So hope you enjoyed it. These were many arrays. If you still watched it till the end, thanks for watching. So that's it. Have a nice day and goodbye.